Hi everybody, this is Alan Ellman, the Blue Collar Investor, with today's option selling question of the day. Today's question comes from Doug. Alan, I'm having trouble with the following trade. On 6/10, I bought GDX for $22.37 and sold the July 24 strike for 24 cents. On 7/12, GDX is at 26.21 and the cost to buy back the option is $2.21. No time value left. I want to keep this ETF. Rolling out to the August 24 strike only nets $2.39. This seems anemic, and rolling out and up seems even worse with lower premiums. Considering I want to keep the stock, I'm not sure the best course. Thanks, and it's signed Doug. Well, this certainly is a good problem to have. The trade that Doug executed initially at this point in time has maximized, and Doug is wondering whether or not he should roll the option to the next month because he really likes the performance of this underlying stock. So let's start off by taking a look at the trade in its entirety at this point in time, which is July 12th. Okay, on 6/10, GDX was purchased at $22.37, and then Doug sold the out of the money, so he took a bullish approach to this covered call trade, which actually worked out very well as of 7/12, and that expired. The July contract expired on the 19th, so it's about a 5-week contract, and he generated $24 per contract with the 24 strike. So he went out of the money from $22.37 to the 24 strike. Now on 7/12, GDX had moved up to 26.21, well past the 24 strike. The cost to close the short call is $2.21, which is all intrinsic value because 26.21 is $2.21 above the 24 strike price. Now, rarely do we get to buy back an option without any time value. Usually there's a couple of pennies of time value, but we're going to go by the statistics provided by Doug in his question and say that the cost to close was $2.21, all intrinsic value, no time value. Now, if the trade was rolled out to the August 24 strike, just rolling out, that netted $2.39 in premium. Rolling out and up to the 27 strike netted 57 cents in premium. We'll have a look at that in the Ellman Calculator. Okay, so first let's have a look at the chart, the price chart of GDX, and see why Doug decided to go out of the money and whether this was a bullish a trade from a technical perspective. So here we have the ETF GDX, which is the blue line, and we have a comparison chart here with the S&P 500, which is the purple line. Now, at the end of May, where you see the arrow in the middle of the chart, that shows where GDX price performance actually moved above that of the S&P 500, which is a very bullish signal, and then continued upwards from there. So you can see the blue line is well above the purple line. So it was outperforming the S&P 500 substantially, and so most of us would agree that an out of the money strike or a bullish approach to this covered call trade was appropriate. All right, so let's have a look now how Doug initially structured the trade from return on the option or ROE and upside potential. And here is the little part of the multiple tab of the Ellman Calculator. And on the left side in the blue cells, the trade information was entered. You could see the price at $22.37, the option premium 24 cents for the 24 strike, and the expiration date was 7/19. Now, once those cells are filled in, then the white cells on the right side of the spreadsheet become populated. And we could see circled on the right-hand side of the screenshot that the ROE, or return on our option, time value return, was 1.1%. Well, that kind of makes sense. because we got 24 cents and the stock price was 22.37. It was a little bit over 1%. But look at that upside potential now. If GDX moved from 22.37 up to the 24 strike, Doug was going to realize an additional 7.3%, making the total 5-week return 8.4%. Well, as of 7/12, the price not only went to 24, went well above that to 26.21. So that 8.4% 5-week return has downside protection from the current 26.21 down to the 24 strike. So right now, Doug is in a great place with this particular trade. However, Doug is thinking in terms of rolling the option because he wants to keep GDX, and he feels that assignment is possible. Certainly, it's absolutely going to happen at expiration, but remember, we're still a week away from expiration. So as of 7/12, the cost to close the near month 24 strike is $221. So that was all intrinsic value. Now the next month 24 strike netted $239, which is only 18 cents above the cost to close. So even without the calculator, we could see that we're going to generate less than 1% by rolling out. Now again, we do have downside protection, but the point is that covered call writing is a cash generating strategy. We have to ask ourselves, is less than 1% going to meet our goal? Some of us it might be, in which case it would be appropriate to roll out. For most of us, it probably is not high enough. Now, the next month, 27 strike nets 57 cents, so much less than the 24 strike as one would expect, but there's a caveat to that, and that is the amount that our shares are worth if we take that ceiling from 24 and bring it up to 27. We'll see that in an upcoming screenshot. All right, so how do we figure out whether rolling makes sense? Well, that's why we have the What Now tab of the Ellman Calculator. So let's feed this information into that tab, and we start by entering the information on the left side of the spreadsheet into the white cells. And you can see here GDX was entered, originally 22.37. Currently it's priced at 26.21. You could see on the top right side of the screenshot. You could see the original premium of 24 cents and then the current cost to close of 221. And then at the bottom right, you could see the two premiums we could generate after rolling the option. If we roll out to the 24 strike, 239. If we roll out and up to the 27 strike, that netted 57 cents. Okay, now once these white cells are filled in, then the blue cells rather are filled in, then the white cells on the right side of the spreadsheet become populated. So let's have a look now. All right, so first let's look at the top of the screenshot, which is just rolling out to the 24 strike. Remember we said that the net credit was only 18 cents or $18 per contract, and you could see from the arrow on the top right that that represents a 0.75% return after deducting the cost to close. So we have to decide whether or not that meets our goal. For me, it does not. Even in my mom's account, where I have a lower goal of 1 to 2%, still falls a bit short. But it may be appropriate for some of our members, and we respect that. And if so, rolling out may be right for you. Let's take a look at the bottom of the screenshot now, where we roll out and up. Now here we only generated 57 cents. So you could see that there's a net loss on the option side of $164 per contract. That's 221 minus 57. So it's kind of looking bleak at this point in time. But now we have to look at the other component to a covered call trade, which is the stock price. When we sold the original 24 strike, our shares cannot be worth more than $24 until the option obligation is removed. By buying back the option, by closing that original short call, then our shares are no longer worth $24. They're worth current market value, which is $26.21. So we're plus $221 per contract. So we have a debit after rolling out and up of 164, but a credit of 221. Let's call it an unrealized credit. That nets to a 2.38% return based on the value of our shares of $24. And you could see that on the arrow on the bottom right side of the screenshot. Now, also another component to rolling out and up is we also have some upside potential because the shares are currently 26.21 and we sold at 27 strike. So it's possible that the price appreciation can move up to the 27 strike or beyond, in which case we would generate another $79. And that would end up representing a total return. Here's the potential total return by rolling out and up of 5.67%. And that includes the original debit on the option side, share appreciation to current market value, and then upside potential to the 27 strike. So again, without the stock price moving at all, 2.38%. That would be our return for the 1 month option by rolling out and up. If the price moves up to the higher strike, then it could represent a 5.67% 1 month return. Either way, these are numbers that probably fit into what is our goal for most members of the BCI community. So let's have an overview look now of our position management decisions as it relates to this trade that Doug executed. So rolling out offers a return under 1% with no upside potential because the price of the stock when we roll is higher than the strike price that we're rolling out to. So that's it, 0.75%. That's the most we can get on this trade. Again, it's appropriate for some, probably not enough for most. Rolling out and up does offer a reasonable return, but we have one additional week of contract obligation. Remember, we're 1 week away from expiration of the near month contract. 1 week away. So we're adding that week onto the next monthly contract. So that's one additional week of obligation. Have to factor that in. So that's the second possibility. Third is taking no action at all at this point in time and spending the next week just reevaluating the trade. Remember, we never move from position management mode after we enter a trade. Now, by waiting that additional week, rolling was still going to be available as expiration Friday approaches. We could still decide to roll the option. The numbers will be a little different. We could reevaluate. Maybe at that point, rolling out will make sense. Maybe rolling out and up will not make sense. Or maybe everything will make sense and it's all good. So that's still going to be available to us. And we also have one more week to evaluate our bullish assessment on GDX. Obviously, at this point in time, Doug is very bullish on the ETF, and I don't blame him. Remember that price chart we looked at. But in another week, who knows? So it gives us another week to evaluate our bullish assessment. Now, someone might say, yeah, but there's a possibility of early assignment since the cost to close is all intrinsic value. Yes, that's possible. It's very, very rare. But if that happens, you can always buy back the stock at the same price, which is the strike plus intrinsic value, which is the cost to close. So it's really no different in this particular case. So if the rare occasion of early assignment does take place, you could just buy back the security. So I see this as a situation where we have three choices. The first choice is really dependent on what your return goal is. And if you're 2 to 4%, or as I am, or 1 to 2% as I am in my mom's portfolio, probably not going to go for that. Rolling out and up, certainly if this was around expiration Friday a week later, Thursday or Friday of the following week, I would definitely consider rolling out and up. But why not take advantage of that extra week to reevaluate what's happening with this particular security and see what the numbers are as we get closer and closer to expiration Friday. And that is the path that I probably would take. Although, rolling out and up is okay as long as you're willing to take the risk of that additional week when who knows what can happen. But at that point in time, the chart does look very, very impressive for GDX. Okay, so I just want to remind everybody that the Ask Alan video library, which has now grown significantly to 164, I can't believe it, it's about a decade now we've been making these videos, is available only to premium members. And so you log on to your member site, scroll down on the left-hand side, and you will see the Ask Alan videos. On the right side, we do have a file of the topics for all 164 of these Ask Alan videos. So you could take a look through that if there's specific topics, or you could just watch them starting at 1 and going through 164. I've done my very, very best to make sure that all these videos have an educational component to them so that it will be time well spent. At least that's my objective. So I want to thank Doug for sharing his trade and asking that question, allowing me to present this information to the entire BCI community. And as always, I want to thank all of you out there for taking the time to watch this video. As always, this is Alan Ellman, the Blue Collar Investor. Take care, everybody.